Class trader for not liking football. I just, dude, I'm sorry. I'm too tall. Okay. All right. Anyway, where was I? All right, let's blast off and let's get it started. That's it. We got a lot to talk about, baby. We got a lot to talk about today. Okay. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. A1 of Burger Reich. Elon salutes Hitler. ADL and all other. Elon salutes Hitler. Orgs defend him. Organizations like the ADL and also content creators like Asmongold. That's so funny to me, where it's like the ADL and Asmongold doing a handshake emoji over claiming that Elon Musk didn't actually do a Heil Hitler salute is so funny. It's like how did that, how do we arrive at that planet? Like, how does that, like, I get Asmongold doing that, but it's just like weird. It's weird. XQC. Oh, dude, that's not surprising either. They want a burger right. Elon salutes Hitler. Orgs defend him. Trump's insane anti-immigration policies are kicking in. Ben Shapiro's also going to bat for Elon. Ben Shapiro makes sense. I think it's funny that it's like, what? XQC also said Destiny did nothing wrong legally. About what? Oh, Destiny sharing videos of him having sex with other people and even potentially recording them without their consent, and then sharing those videos with other girls that he wants to have sex with without the other party's consent. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that XQC looked at that situation and said, oh no, Destiny actually didn't do anything wrong legally. Okay, what about morally? I thought XQC was, you're not canceled, you're a criminal. I thought that's what his take was. Well, I guess it doesn't matter to him. Anyway, XQC said morally it was wrong. Oh, okay. It also is technically illegal. It's just that it's a new statute in general. So there's not a lot of great laws around it, and it varies state by state. So seems like the immigration policies aren't too popular on the rap pages that primarily focus on Hispanic artists. They're usually pretty right wing. How long until Meta shuts that shit down? We'll see. As we go, so the Holocaust probably happened. Jesus Christ, stop. Okay, dude, stop. They want a burger right. Elon salutes Hitler. Orgs defend him. Trump's saying anti-immigration policies are kicking in. Executive order review and more. Get in now. How does it feel seeing this shit with D go down? It's got to be kind of cathartic to see his behavior finally be exposed. No. I mean, he's been doing this in perpetuity. I mean, I think he had similar issues in the past as well for many, many years. And I think his fan base doesn't care. I think they'll act like they're very critical of him and then repackage it as like old drama later down the line. It's usually a very simple method. Destiny does something that is like overtly hypocritical, incredibly immoral, and very wrong. Some people in his community get mad at him and they criticize him in his own fan base. Destiny goes through and deletes all of those messages and punishes every single person that is a naysayer. But he does it also quietly, right? And then he'll write this long, well thought out, brilliant debate where he basically will pick apart the arguments, the counter arguments, by hyper focusing on some of the silliest things that people are saying, or directly engaging character assassination without addressing the actual wrongdoing whatsoever. And then everyone in his fan base will have the talking points that they're now armed with as they go feral and make every single naysayer's life a living hell. Okay, that is what they do. And then later down the line, they will essentially claim this was just old drama anyway, and they'll package it and they'll silence it. For this story in particular, it seems like it was one of the things that I couldn't understand, because everyone was talking about like Nick Fuentes potentially getting his shit sucked by Destiny, and he was joking about that as well. And everyone was talking about that, but I was like, it's weird that I think it's kind of odd that he's like made, sex tapes with his ex-wife that he was sending to random people. I doubt his ex-wife would be on board with that. And it turns out that there were plenty of other people who were also not on board with him sending those videos to random people that he wants to fuck. And it's, it's real Epstein-y behavior. Okay. Using his using his orbiters to go out and also cut side deals with the people that he has wronged, and to try to squash this in its entirety as quietly as he possibly can while he continues doing whatever the fuck he's doing. Yeah. Sending out sex resumes. Exactly. This isn't the first time he's done it, nor the second or the third. He's been called out literally 4 times for this exact thing over the years. Yeah. So he's been doing it nonstop. Seemingly he hasn't stopped. And I think that basically he will write this ridiculous statement or make a YouTube video, and then he'll start going after everyone who has like called him out and bully them and behave in a belligerent manner and try to present them as like bad people with ill intentions and not literal victims. And then his fan base will also go along with it, and they'll badger and bully and pester every single person and engage in character assassination of every single party involved. And then inevitably his orbiters will come back because they all love that clout, and he'll just continue. Maybe he'll lose a little bit of his fan base in the process, but then he'll just keep on keeping on. He'll just keep doing the same shit over and over again, and it will be considered past drama and that you're stupid for addressing it. That's something that he has done in perpetuity over and over again. It's not the first time. It's not the second time. It's like the 4th time this particular thing has happened. And many other awful things have happened in the process as well. And he just always seems to get away with it because his fan base doesn't give a shit. His fan base does not care at the end of the day. Like, they'll use the initial criticisms that some people in his subreddit are launching against him to say, look, his fan base is not that sycophantic. Meanwhile, he's just always whipping the ranks behind the scenes. You look like a fried sunflower. Thank you, I guess. Nothing like a streamer to tell us his very important opinion. You hate billionaires while being a millionaire. Chill already, bro. Wait, what? Welcome to the echo chamber. I don't know what you're talking about. Buddy, you're in here. What's echoing? Yeah. He had a so-called feminist being Ghislaine Maxwell for him. It's insane. Yeah. Isn't it that erudite girl who also hates me as well? I think that's what I've heard, that she was the person intercepting the people that were like wronged by him. Anyway, let's blast off. She's always tweeting about you. Yeah, she's also that's the pro-Israel girl, right? The South African one, who I think his family moved to Israel or something from South Africa, something like that. I'm not entirely certain on her background at all. I don't know. Wait, that's a different girl? Oh, that's South African aristocracy. That's a different girl? There's a different one? Dude, all of these people that are Destiny orbiters, they all fucking hate me because that's like the one consistent, coherent worldview position that community has. Destiny will take literally both conflicting sides in every single argument, and they will follow him to every single argument like that. But there's one thing that has not changed over the past 5 years, and that is fuck Hassan. Everything in the world that's bad is because of Hassan, and virtually all of his orbiters will assume all of his positions in real time and start like repeating. It's like a cult. I don't know how to describe it. It's a sex cult. Okay, that's it. It's literally a gross, sweaty, weird sex cult where they, I assume, like band nerds debate stuff and then have weird sex. Okay, it's not aristocracy. It's a different person. Okay, my bad. It's not. What is it? I apologize. I thought there's too many orbiters to keep up. I was wrong. I mixed up the people that Destiny is linked up with. They all also fucking hate me. Anyway, Erudite said, like Dr. Oz. Erudite is his podcast co-host. Okay. Yeah, he's like Nixium, but also their primary output, instead of like making self-help content, they make like debate stuff. Not So Erudite is the Ghislaine Maxwell. Oh, Not So Erudite is the Ghislaine Maxwell. Got it. The take economy is booming. Asmongold says Elon Musk's salute was unintentional. Also states that there's a 1% chance the Holocaust did not happen. I don't think these two statements are related. I think probably 99% certainty these clips are unrelated. Dude, why is he saying that there's a 1% chance the Holocaust did not happen? Like, man, what the hell is wrong with you, bro? It's like the classic... Like, do I think Asmongold doesn't think the Holocaust didn't happen? No. I think he knows the Holocaust happened. 100% knows that the Holocaust happened. He's not like, but But the very fact that he has to retain his gamer cred, he has to do this like weird debate thing where he's like, oh, well, there's a 1% chance it didn't happen. Like, it's such a stupid fucking thing to say, dude. Jesus Christ. Why do we care about what Asman says? Because he's the largest political content creator on this platform, whether you like it or not, okay? He quite literally is, as it stands, the largest political content creator and the largest content creator on the platform, as a matter of fact. With 53,000 concurrent viewers, Asman Gold currently is the largest political content creator on the platform, okay? So he just said he 100% believes the Holocaust happened. That's what I mean. I don't think that he's like, listen, I don't think Asman Gold deep down inside genuinely is a Holocaust denier. I don't think he is at all, okay? He 100% is doing this classic, like, he 100% is doing the classic, like, well, technically nothing is 100% certain. But when you're having this conversation, when you're having a conversation about something like this, especially in the process of defending Elon Musk doing a Sig Heil, yeah, you're gonna look like you're trying to create a situation where you're saying, well, there's a likelihood the Holocaust didn't happen, and then also do it in a way where it's like there's plausible deniability. You know what I mean? Come on, man. It's such a bad, like, you're appealing to fucking Nazis when you do that. That's so dumb. Jesus Christ. Anyone think Elon a Nazi? You just a brain dead. Well, I guess I'm just a brain dead then. Okay. Jesus Christ. I agree with him. Hasanabi, I'm not brain dead. What do you mean? You agree with who? That Elon Musk is not a Nazi? I think Elon Musk, before he Sig Heiled, he was already very comfortable with neo-Nazi statements. And I have a long history of documenting all of the different things that Elon has done. But for liberals, and for many people in general, like liberals and Republicans, who also are liberals as well at the end of the day, they need the optics of someone saying that they like Adolf Hitler, or they need the optics of someone just straight up hitting the Hitler salute, right? And lo and behold, even though he has finally hit it, okay, he has done a lot of other stuff that at the end of the day kind of ruins any sort of plausible deniability in the circumstance, almost as much as the fact that he hit it with his whole chest, okay? Have you seen Ben Shapiro pull an ADL on Twitter today? They're falling in line and sane washing him. Yeah. What? It's like when you joke about hating women like Andrew Tate, but you just kind of do. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm a certified woman hater. Exactly like Andrew Tate. One of Norway's largest news sources covered this, and you showed up in one of the clips. Yeah, the TikTok that we posted of that exact same clip that Vorlo posted also on Twitter it's just gone super viral, partially because the timing of it is so perfect, I think, and my response to it is obviously very genuine. But like, look at this moment from yesterday. If you weren't in here, if you weren't tuned in here yesterday, I happened to tune in to Elon Musk talking, like delivering a speech, and the timing of it could not have been any better. Let's take a look.
And I just want to say thank you.
Anyway, let's look at one of these tech billionaire oligarchs speaking at the inauguration.
My heart goes out to you.
Did he just say Kyle?
It is thanks to you.
What?
And I just want to say
dude, like we clicked in to Elon Musk talking at the inauguration, and he immediately Sig Heiled. You kind of move on really fast from this like it was a non-event. No, and then we found out that the camera actually panned away from him to the crowd in that specific video, but he actually turned around and Sig Heiled twice. He made sure to hit the Sig Heil on both sides of the stadium, okay? He wanted to get all angles. He wanted all angles to be covered, okay? He did it twice, man. He did it twice. Vorlo also clipped it and posted it on Twitter, and I'm surprised that he hasn't been banned yet, because it got 17 million views with 256,000 likes. And Vorlo also delivered one of the most devastating ratios I've ever seen. This guy goes, "This you?" And he says, "Yes, It says my name on the tweet, 52,000 likes. You can do anything, and if you don't say you did it, then it's a pass. No, the point is, you can do anything you want as long as you are a billionaire and very powerful and also right-wing and also align with the government. You can get away with it. Okay, that's it. And it's kind of shocking to me that it's happening right on the heels of all of these pro-Israel organizations that like lose their minds at random college students who are Jewish wearing a keffiyeh, claiming that they are like Adolf Hitler themselves, turning around and being like, come on. The right-wing billionaire who's aligned with the German neo-Nazi party, who actually opened the faucet of anti-Semitism on the platform that he purchased, who follows neo-Nazis, collaborates with neo-Nazis, openly highlights neo-Nazis, agrees with neo-Nazi sentiment, but he's pro-Israel, is obviously not Sig Heiling, even though he hit the full Hitler, okay? My man hit the full Hitler, okay? He didn't do the half Hitler. He didn't do none of these like, oh, I was just calling out for a cab or I was just waving off in the distance. He hit the full Hitler twice, okay? Twice, not once, twice. Yeah, I mean, this is also what's going on. Exactly. The political spectrum is just like Elon Musk just did a Nazi salute on live TV. Most people going, this is unacceptable. This is ridiculous. And then the far right's like, hell yeah, Elon Musk just did a Nazi salute on live TV. Meanwhile, you got the weird liberals in the center of the political equation just constantly doing this weird song and dance where they're like, no, don't you dare say that. Don't believe your lying eyes. Some of my favorite responses to this, however, was people saying some of my favorite responses to this have come from Batya Sungar Argon or whatever the fuck her name is, being like, nah, he's just autistic, dude. Yeah, he got the Nazi type of autism, okay? There's different kinds. And instead of like being a train enjoyer, or I don't know, as Connor said, in being invested in Pokemon or whatever, he got the Nazi kind. It's the worst kind of autism to have. Okay? We know. You can't just be like, oh, he's just autistic. That's not, he's just autistic. He's not a Nazi. I mean, no, what is this? As a German, let me tell you how to distinguish a Nazi salute from a friendly wave. Look serious, arm straight, not the slightest bit bent. Hand and arm form a single line, 4 fingers together tightly. Angle such that the hand is slightly higher than the head. I mean, he hit it perfectly. Like, I don't know what we're talking about. He literally did the heart thing too. Like he pounded his chest and then hit it. Like he didn't even do the I'm just waving plausible deniability, Sig Heil. He did the full Hitler. I don't understand how you can look at a man doing the full Hitler twice and going, I don't know. As a person with a strong track record of criticizing Elon Musk, I feel extremely confident asserting that this was not a Nazi salute. Elon is a friend of the Jews. This is a man with Asperger's exuberantly throwing his heart to the crowd. We don't need to invent outrage. He's just autistic, man. He's just, you don't understand. That's his hyperfixation. His hyperfixation happens to be, Nazi Germany. I fought how to take false accusations of Nazism are incredibly harmful during a time when the mainstream media is letting the real Nazis, in parentheses, Hamas, have the mic without question. Dude, it's so awesome. It like I do personally find this a little cathartic, okay, and a little funny to be honest with you, okay, that every single person that runs the table on defending Israel and constantly screaming anti-Semite at anyone that says this apartheid regime designed around Jewish ethno-religious supremacy that is currently doing a genocide is completely unacceptable and has nothing to do with Judaism. Every single person that turns around and says, that's the most anti-Semitic thing I've ever heard in my entire life, are turning around and going, this fucking neo-Nazi wasn't actually Sig Heiling because he's pro-Israel. That's all this is. That's all this is. It is so morally repugnant. They are so morally bankrupt. They do not care about real anti-Semitism. They only want to defend Israel. That's it. That's it. That is 100% the situation. Okay. Yeah. I mean, here, there's a side-by-side videos. Yeah. Dude, you don't understand. He's just autistic, bro. Chill. Those guys are all autistic too. They're just autistic Nazis. And so is Elon. Like, that's the full one. Okay. It's not the half one. It's the full one. Do you understand? It's the full one. There's one side by side with Hitler too. I saw one as well, side by side with Adolf. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna run this again. Don't worry. We're gonna play this. This is a classic, obviously. But there is no, like, I love all of the people defending this. It's so funny. Remember when Elon responded to this and said, "You have said the exact truth." Enjoy this one. Oh, are you telling me that the guy who is exclusively tasked with having the wrong opinion on every issue, even when it's a fucking slam dunk issue, took the wrong opinion on this one as well? Nervously walks up to the mic, says, "Hutch, I think it's correct that Elon is a strange guy who hulked out in a strange moment, but he probably did not intentionally do a Nazi salute." Runs away. It's awesome. Everyone who like considers themselves to be in the center left or the center right is just like actively being like, no, you don't understand. This is not a Nazi salute. Elon's a great guy. My take on the Elon Hitler salute thing is that it was unintentional in the sense that he intended to make it a more ambiguous hand gesture with plausible deniability, but completely fucked it up. There's been like a couple clips from Republican speakers in the past few years where they sort of put up the Sig Heil and then quickly moved to the gesture they were consciously intending on doing, and I think he wanted to emulate that, but it's too uncoordinated. That's pretty funny. I love whenever people go, he didn't. These two, however, get bent. Like, this is my favorite. This is my favorite fucking thing that people do. Okay, first of all, I think Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris, by the nature of their jobs, have done things that are inherently fascist. Having said that, however, I don't think that they were trying to do the Nazi salute in this situation, because if they were, you would have shown the video instead of them in that moment moving their hands and like waving to the fucking crowd. Guess what? We have the video. We have the video of Elon doing it twice. Why are they just simply posting pictures instead of the videos? Parents defending this, I don't know how to address it. Just literally show them this, okay? If anyone is confused about what they are seeing in front of them, just show them this, okay? Where's the double video? Oh, show them this, show them that, okay? If anyone is confused on what they are seeing, show them that, okay? And then show them, where is it? This. Show them this, okay? And then, okay? And then you can show them the double one, okay? Like the actual, like, people that were there saw him doing it twice, okay? People there saw him doing it twice. But look, here's Barack Obama.
God bless you. God bless these United States.
Yeah.
Does he mean he wants to take us back before Roe v. Wade was enacted? Because we're not going back.
I don't even like these people. But once again, I find myself not defending them, but defending the truth. Okay? I don't like these people. I think they have a lot of blood on their hands. Okay? But you are delusional if you think that they were like
going back.
Hitting the same shit. Okay?
Thank you, America.
Here's the second salute video. Okay, look. Does that look like, I mean, come on, guys. Come on, guys. What do you think is going on?
My heart goes out to you.
Yeah, he said, my heart goes out to you, Adolf Hitler. The part where he didn't. The part where he just said, my heart goes out to you. He meant to, Adolf Hitler. And the and the Fourth Reich. May it never die. That's what he meant. Yeah, he said, "Mine heart goes out to you." Apparently, I'm a Zionist and a Nazi. Yeah, great. I'm just gonna post yes. The Hasanabication of FaZe Clan. Wait, what? What do you mean? Wait, this got 25,000 likes?
Yo, you know what I realized? TikTok getting banned is low-key, and getting unbanned by Trump is low-key a power play by Trump. It's good PR for Gen Z. I saw someone on Twitter say, yo, this is one of the best things Trump's ever done in his years of being president. Or what do you mean? What do you mean?
Bro, he's coming for my job. The Hasanabication of FaZe Clan. This got 25,000 likes. That's crazy. You taught him well. He's just brilliant, man. He's just brilliant. He's a brilliant guy on his own. He even have you have two timing of both as if he's saying the word in his head. Wait, what? Historically, they were Muslims who supported Nazism during 20th century. Wait, what? The ween glaze is crazy. That's my nephew, man. That's my nephew. That's my nephew, big dog. I just like, sorry, that just opened up on its own. Twitter, run by a incompetent Nazi, of course, has a tendency to just like automatically start playing videos. This is the best response to show. Piers Morgan is defending it too. Of course he is. Elon Musk was very ill-advised to do this kind of salute to denote his clearly stated "my heart goes out to you" sentiment, but he obviously didn't mean it as a Nazi salute, and anyone who says he did is being a disingenuous idiot. Yeah, great stuff, man. I'm glad that like all of the villains, y'all are doing exactly what he wants. He did it exactly to get this chain reaction meltdown and get everyone to talk about him because his ego just ignored the man-child. This is my favorite type of like, I'm actually a brilliant guy take. This is the smart guy take, okay? The smart guy take is, hey, when the wealthiest person on the planet, perhaps one of the most powerful individuals on the planet, hits the Nazi salute twice on Trump's inauguration, and he is also a hand-selected person in the Trump cabinet, basically, okay? You should just ignore it. Yeah, he was just simply trolling. It's a 5D chess move, and you should ignore it. You're right, chatter. I should just ignore the wealthiest person on the planet, welcome back Henry Ford style, doing a Nazi salute on the stage when we are actually about to be in the post-Weimar era, okay? We are literally in the heels of Nazi America, okay? People will say America's always been fascist, America's always had like white supremacist attitudes. Fair. Get it. I got it. Okay. And throughout America's history, we've had internment camps for the Japanese during World War II. Okay. Not a great look. Not great at all. We've had the Bracero program that was implemented with the mass deportation of 1.3, or I think almost 2 million people that were suspected of being Mexican. Some of them were just Americans that just looked Mexican, and they were mass deported. Okay. Twice. And now that is about to happen again. And this is before we talk about the Trail of Tears, Manifest Destiny, which Donald Trump brought up, by the way, as a positive. Said he's going to manifest destiny in Mars yesterday. Okay. And he's also talking about doing the Bracero program again, this time for all migrants living on U.S. soil. That means 20 million people in concentration camps and mass deportations. And we're still going around and acting like this is just memes. You know what I mean? It's not memes. Yeah, this is a memeified version of the serious issues that are ongoing. Okay. I think for a lot of people, they need to see the optics of it. And even in the optics front, Elon Musk is cooked on this regard. Okay. But far before Elon straight up hit the Hitler salute twice, mind you, twice. Remember, hit it twice. Okay. At the inauguration. Far before he did that, you could tell that he has, at the very least, sympathies towards fascist policies. Like, what are we talking about? He linked up with the neo-Nazis in the AfD in Germany. He was beefing up the reform movement. He is linked up with Giorgia Meloni in Italy. Wherever there are fascists and racists internationally, Elon Musk is right there. Okay? Same thing with Israel, honestly. Israel has a shit ton of fascists. Elon also likes them too. So when he throws the Hitler salute, he's not doing it in an anti-Semitic fashion. He's doing it in a pro pro-fascist way, okay? Or rather, let's just say he is still anti-Semitic, I suspect, but he is also simultaneously very pro-Israel, okay? I think a lot of people just like look at the optics, okay? A lot of people look at the stupid fucking optics of the situation and only then do they come to terms with the reality. People don't have a tendency to look at what Elon Musk has done so far. Elon Musk has bought Twitter, turned Twitter into 4chan, okay? Unbanned every single neo-Nazi from the platform. Elon Musk follows prominent neo-Nazi accounts. Elon Musk continues to collaborate with prominent neo-Nazi accounts. Elon Musk continues to highlight prominent neo-Nazi sentiment. Elon Musk defends and agrees publicly with neo-Nazi statements like Jews are doing unrestricted immigration into the Western civilization from the undesirable third world populations in an effort to destroy and undermine Western civilization that is supposed to be for white people. Elon Musk has responded to that person and said, you have said the exact truth. That's Nazi shit. Like, that's just straight up. That is no different than Sig Heiling, okay? There is no plausible deniability in that regard. There is less plausible deniability in that situation where Elon Musk says, that's real, that really happened, okay? That is worse than throwing up a Sig Heil from my standards. But for a lot of people, they don't understand that, okay? I think you're misusing the term Bracero program. This came after the mass deportations. That was a mass import of farm workers source. I interviewed farm workers. Yes, I'm saying Bracero program because I don't want to say the actual name of the deportation operation, because the actual name of the deportation operation is a slur. So hopefully people will just simply look up the Bracero program and understand what I'm talking about when I talk about the mass deportations, because the actual deportations were called Operation WB. Now, I don't mean West Bank, okay? I mean dry front, but the reverse of dry front, okay? They called it Operation WB. That was prominently featured in the New York Times, by the way. It wasn't like, you know, people would just write slurs on the newspaper back then all the time. Asmongold deleted yesterday's VOD to hide his response to the chat reacting to the rabbi speech. I didn't even see the rabbi speech, but I don't know. I don't know what the rabbi said. I don't know what Asmongold said. Anyway, yeah. So it's not just that Elon Musk has agreed with a lot of Nazis. Elon Musk also is personally constantly talking about how he believes in IQ and how he has to repopulate the planet with high IQ individuals. He has this very weird hyper focus on eugenics. Interesting. And potentially a breeding fetish. And it's something so glaringly obvious. He's talked about the Great Replacement, which is also Nazi politics as well. Now, the problem here is a lot of the right-wing, overtly fascist politics are so perfectly aligned with the Republican Party and modern right-wing politics that for many people, they go, wait a minute, what you're considering to be Nazi politics is what my grandfather believes, is what he watches on Fox News. And the argument is, yeah, duh, that's the point. I know. That's what, welcome to reality, okay? That is how a lot of actual ideological fascists are able to make their way into polite discourse, to public discourse, and make it seem as though their ideas are not immediately dismissed, but instead pretty appropriate for the time, okay? That's how you get someone like Stephen Miller to be Trump's immigration czar, right? Anyway, yeah, he replied to a Nazi blaming Jews for anti-white hate. Yes, I know. People are saying that he was also his grandfather was a Nazi or something. I don't know. I don't know about this stuff because I don't really trust Errol Musk. I feel like he's even more of a fraudulent individual than Elon. Like, he sucks. So anything he says, I'm always gonna take with a grain of salt, right? He's a bit of a charlatan, a huckster.
Africa from Canada, because they sympathized with the Afrikaner government. They used to support Hitler and all that sort of stuff. But they didn't know, obviously, I don't think they knew what the Nazis were doing But they in Canada, they were in the Nazi, they were in the German party in Canada, and they sympathized with the Germans.
Yeah.
So when the Afrikaners government came into power here in 1948, then May's father, who was quite an interesting guy, he was a very good pilot, he said he wants to be with the Afrikaners because he agrees with apartheid, you see. You see what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And he came out here with his family.
And didn't that cause tension with you because you don't?
Yeah, that caused a lot of tension with me. And because I was a director of NUSAS, which was a National Union of South African Students, which was a very anti-apartheid body, you know. And I argued with them a lot. And they used to tell me, they used to be like rude to me, you know, and the parents. And then
Themasius, what is this? Come and salute your heart out the right way in our Discord. Bro, they're playing so fast and loose with like really messed up shit. And they're doing this at a time. They're doing this at a time when like there is no, the thing is there's no cancel culture, right? Like it's not a real thing. Everybody fucking hates it. There is no social pressure. And a lot of that stuff is nowhere near. A lot of that stuff is nowhere near as powerful as it once was in like the 2016 era. Like you can't meme about this stuff, man. You can't meme about this stuff. You are literally opening up your community to straight up Nazis. You're inviting Nazis to your Discord. That shit sucks, man. It's not funny. It's not a fucking meme. It's completely unacceptable. Okay. Like that's ridiculous, dude. Surely your haters will zero in on that community since they care about anti-Semitism. No, they won't, because they don't care about anything. They don't actually care about anti-Semitism. They're fucking, they've said way more. They've said actually anti-Semitic shit. I never have. Okay. No, they care about getting me banned to get a win, to get a W for their favorite content creator. It's so sad and pathetic. You said the Holocaust probably happened. Dude, Asmongold 100% is not a, I will say this, okay? I will say this. This is not a defense of Asmongold. Asmongold, I'm not covering him. He knows the Holocaust happened, okay? He is not a Holocaust denier. But the very fact that he is like teetering along the edges of this kind of sentiment while simultaneously defending Elon Musk is completely unacceptable, okay? That's it. Like, oh, I said 99% that it happened. There's a 1% likelihood of it not happening for anything on the planet. Like, I get that, okay? I understand it, but it's just like, it's ridiculous. Do you think that focusing on other examples of Elon's anti-Semitism, obsession with eugenics, and fascist ideologies like the ones you just talked about could be a better focus when talking to median voters and centrists, opposed to just talking about Elon doing the Nazi salute because of the way the left is characterized as overreaching and the way that the right has tried to disprove it? Yeah, I think that it is important. But the real reason why it's important is because a lot of liberals don't understand all of this stuff is also Nazi stuff, and probably way more important in terms of like proving that someone has at least an allegiance to or an interest in like fascist and neo-Nazi opinions. And that is why I use this as a teachable moment for a lot of people. You know, it wouldn't be this nice if it was any other streamer. That's not, no, this is like, what are you talking about, dude? No, it's completely unacceptable. What the fuck do you mean? What do you want me to say? What are you guys saying? I don't understand. Like, first of all, it's not just about Asmongold, okay? This is my attitude for virtually every single person that I cover until they have shown that they are, you know, completely fraudulent, not interested in anything, no nuance whatsoever, and like are very obviously a right-wing commentator. Even then, I will still offer them grace and nuance, okay? While still simultaneously being critical. And that's what I do all the time. And many people that come in here to fucking yell at me and say, you're not going hard enough, are simply invested in the drama of it. You're moving away from the actually important points that I want to make. The actual point that I want to talk about is why Elon Musk, the wealthiest, the richest person on the planet, is a fucking neo-Nazi. And you're like, well, you didn't sufficiently say Asmongold is entertaining Nazis in his community. I did. Okay? I did. Like, what is this?
We're not going back.
I feel like this is kind of worse.
We're not going back.
Is that worse?
Bro, what is everybody doing, man? What is everybody doing? What the fuck is going on? We've just completely lost the goddamn plot, bro. What the fuck is happening? Actually, what's happening right now? What's going on? Why is everyone on the platform behaving like this? People need to fucking figure it out, dude. People need to fucking figure it out. Purposely misinterpreting things like this works for the right wing. They know this. I know, but I don't look. I'll say the same thing. Do I think XQC, Felix Lengyel, is an ideologically committed Nazi who is secretly trying to cast this this deflection and doing that because he is like serving the higher purpose of like spreading Nazi sentiment? No. And if you think yes, if your answer is yes, he's doing that deliberately, you're fucking delusional. Do I think, on the other hand, that he has spent a shit ton of time with a lot of reactionary people and his brain has been completely fucking fried? So now he finds himself very malleable and very susceptible to like right-wing framing on issues because that's just how it works. And that's my assessment of it. Okay. Do you think that he's an ideologically committed Nazi, or do you think he's malleable and being used in this regard? I think it's the second thing. I don't think it's the first thing. Okay. And if you don't understand, if you always think it's the first thing and not the second thing, I think he's probably dick riding Elon. Okay. He knows that Elon watches him. Just like Asman knows Elon watches him as well. They're dick riding and trying to defend a very powerful, very famous person that they know watches them. Okay, that's it. And in that process, they're just like, you know, throwing whatever sticks, like throwing shit at the wall and hoping it sticks. Okay, it's still Nazi apologia. It's still unacceptable. But there is a genuine difference between what they're doing and what like someone who's ideologically committed to the project is doing. And if you don't understand that difference, you are going to come across as like hysterical to the average normie who might actually say something very similar to XQC, partially because they watched XQC. Okay. It's important. It's important to make these distinctions. It is not a defense of this person. It is not a defense of Asmongold, but it's important to make these distinctions because there is a difference. There's a difference between someone like Nick Fuentes, or there's a difference between someone like Richard Spencer, and then random people who end up defending those, not Nick Fuentes or Richard Spencer, but like random people who end up defending Elon Musk doing this, because normies can be converted. Normies can have their minds changed. Okay? But if you go into a conversation with a normie with that same energy, that person is like a committed ideological Nazi invested in the Nazi project, you are not going to be able to talk to them normally. So that's the reason why I take this careful approach when having this conversation. XQC himself is not a normal person. I'm not saying he's a normie, but he does represent the normie position, the normie right-wing position in general in this situation. Okay? This is very important to understand. Neither XQC nor Asmongold are personally normies. And neither is Moist Critical, but it doesn't matter. Moist Critical is the normie Jesus, right? For a reason. These guys have takes that other people are going to repeat. They have takes that resemble the uneducated position, okay? And it's important to understand where this position comes from so you can, you know, do your very best to have these conversations with people in your immediate vicinity, people in your lives, okay? If you cannot, but by the way, when people goes, was Charlie's take okay? Did hear this? No, I didn't hear. I'm not saying Charlie said anything about this. I'm sure Charlie would be daggering Elon. He is the other side of the normie spectrum. So, I'm just I wasn't implying that Charlie had a pro Elon take or something, chat. I'm using him as an example of like a normie position, a person who is not a normal human being, a very wealthy individual who has a massively successful YouTube channel, but obviously arrives at like a normie position all the time. Do you understand? Anyway, my point is there are a lot of people that will see this faucet of communication from both mainstream outlets being like, what kind of gesture did Elon do? And then maybe even people from independent outlets that, you know, listen to XQC's take or listen to Asmongold take or whoever's take, right? And they will repeat those takes. They will regurgitate it without thinking about it. And if you encounter one in the wild, you can't have a conversation with them like they're a fucking ideological Nazi. Because if you do that, they're just done. You're never going to be able to convince them of anything. Okay? Understand? Why even try to contextualize it? They're being useful idiots for Nazis. You don't go back from that. No, I don't disagree with you. I think at some point you have to stop infantilizing these people. They're influencing hundreds of thousands. They don't get treated with kitty gloves about Nazism. There's a couple different reasons, because a lot of context and nuance in the argumentation gets lost. And this could very easily have been clipped in a way. I don't know what the full breadth of this XUC or Asmongold's coverage is on the matter. And I don't have enough time to watch it. That's number one. No, don't say it's because they're my friends. Okay. That's not the case. Okay, and I'm sure that they have both defended Elon Musk for the reasons that I mentioned. But it's important to understand that, because if you encounter an XQC fan or an Asmongold fan in the wild, this is a more effective way to actually undermine the people regurgitating those positions. You can just be like, yeah, I think, one, Elon Musk is absolutely a Nazi. Here are the reasons. And two, I think Asmongold or XQC is probably defending them because they know that Elon Musk watches them and they're powerful. Elon Musk is a powerful person. Do you understand? And now we have completely moved on. Now we have completely moved on from the main point of contention that isn't even a point of contention at all, in my opinion, to what fucking Twitch streamers are saying. Okay? And it's stupid.
The hand is more down, more flat, more towards the ground, no?
Do you understand? Hassan just tried to make a greater point about de-radicalizing normies, and chatters are like, actually, no, cover Asmon drama. I want drama, drama, drama. Exactly. The Asmon or XQC point of this conversation is a minor sidestep. It's not, it doesn't play a major role in this commentary because there are fucking adults in here, okay? And although these guys are fairly prominent content creators on this platform, and therefore it is important to cover their takes on issues like this, obviously, I'm not going to spend a good bit of time on what they have said. What is this?
People are mad about that Elon, like, doing the, they really think that they think he just masked off to, they do. They actually think he masked off to, like a Nazi salute.
Yeah, all the non-Twitch normie influencers I know are losing their minds over the Nazi salute. Is literally just Twitch brain rot. I know. And it's really, we got to squash this, okay? This has to be squashed, like 100%. The fact that people are even like,
how do you really think that shit's happening,
going
right?
Like,
I mean,
oh
like,
man,
come
it's not a
on.
Nazi salute. Elon's not a Nazi. Like, oh man, what the fuck? Like, you are playing a very dangerous game. Whether you recognize it and think that it's not that dangerous, or whether you don't recognize it, doesn't matter. Okay, I can't help but feel like we have elevated the openness of neo-Nazi sentiment. Openness of neo-Nazi sentiment to such a degree that, like, a couple years prior, we would talk about the CPAC stage looking like Nordic runes, and everyone was like, oh, look, but it's like Nordic runes. They designed it as Nordic runes deliberately to communicate to everybody through secret messages that it's like they're Nazis. It's like, have you heard what the speakers are saying on top of the fucking stage? They're literally Sig Heiling all the time with their words, okay? They're like, we should kill every, Mexican person. And you're like, well, the stage is designed in a way that actually looks like a Nordic rune. So maybe they're Nazis. Like, that's so stupid. Just focus on the words that are coming out of the mouths of these fucking reactionary assholes, okay? And the same goes for Elon. But in this situation, it's not even a fucking esoteric Nordic rune. It's him hitting the full Hitler. What the hell is going on? It's completely in broad daylight. Like, he thought he could have this discourse. He thought he could get away with it, okay? Like, what are we doing? I mean, look at that. Yeah, here's another one. Does this not strike you as odd? Like, what are we doing here? Look at this. Like, that's why the video is more significant, because there are a million clips of politicians saying, like, bye, doing this. You know what I mean? And then, like, they get caught. And then they get clipped. And then they're like, oh, they're doing the Sig Heil too? Okay, look at the video. What are we talking about? I joked about this, and I was like, yeah, he's just trying to prove his gamer cred. You know what I mean? He was like, nah, I am a capital G hard R gamer, trust. But, like, it is pretty obvious if it walks like a duck quacks like a duck and Sig Heils like a duck, that duck's a fucking Nazi, okay? What are we doing? This man has said far too many Nazi things and has so frequently been aligned with Nazis for you to turn around, and far too invested in eugenicist sentiment, and also far too invested in the great replacement conspiracy theories and shit that you have to be insane to go, oh, well, that guy also seemingly yet again had another oopsie. It's not a oopsie, you know? Like, I don't understand. Did the Neuralink brain chips, did they get implanted in people's brains already? Is that why we're in this situation where people are seemingly defending this and going, oh, I don't know, Hassan, you know? What the fuck's going on? Like, I've seen people saying he's autistic, he doesn't know any better, which is ridiculous, okay? I've seen people say he went to Israel, how could he be a Nazi? And I'm like, that literally further solidifies that he is, because people don't understand that, like, there are a shit ton of prominent fascists, okay, who love the concept of sending all the Jews to the desert, okay? That's it. They love that shit. Like, it doesn't, people are still operating on the old hat attitude of anti-Semitism, okay? They don't understand that you can be anti-Semitic and also be pro-Israel. As a matter of fact, more anti-Semites are pro-Israel than not. If you look at the number of people who are pro-Israel, okay, across the board, the number of anti-Semitic people who are pro-Israel probably outweighs the number of people who are not anti-Semitic and pro-Israel, okay? Look at the Christian Zionist movement in this goddamn country. They are far larger than Jewish Zionists in this country, far more prominent than Jewish Zionists in this country, okay? Look at Christians United for Israel. This is a conversation I've had 1,000,000 times over, and those guys are very anti-Semitic, okay? How the fuck does that make sense? It makes sense because their primary mode is still fascism, okay? There are religious justifications for it amongst the Christian Zionist movement, where they think Jews are the holy sons of God and that they have to go to the desert so that once they populate that entire area and it's just Jews there, Jesus Christ will come back to earth and fight the coalition forces of the devil in Megiddo, and then the rapture will happen. And you know what happens to all the Jews during the rapture? They go to fucking hell. They burn in hell permanently. So it's not necessarily an allegiance that is born out of loving Jewish people, but instead it's more so to trigger this anime style, like, end of the world event. That's what they believe. That's what's crazy too, because every time I bring this up, every time I explain this, like, insane thing, people go, no, there aren't tens of millions of Americans who legitimately are invested in this. And then they find out that 52% of Americans believe angels exist. And an even larger percentage of Americans think Jesus Christ is going to come back to earth and trigger the rapture in our lifetime. And by and large, in the eyes of a lot of people who might be anti-Semitic themselves and not like Jews, they still also think Muslims are the far greater threat. And in their minds, in their calculation, it's like, one, we're sending all the Jews over there. Great. Okay. Two, then those Jews get to fight our greater enemy, the Muslims. Let them fight. That's the calculation that many people make. We are boiling the frog at this point. People don't notice gradual changes until it's too late to react. And now they can't believe what they're seeing, so they have to make excuses for blatant Nazism. And this is all being exacerbated by places like the New York Times saying this is just a hand gesture. I know. Meanwhile, the Nazis are freaking celebrating it big time. They're like, this is great. This is great. Here, let's watch this clip real quick for no particular reason whatsoever. It's one of my favorite memes, okay? I'm going to go pee real quick.
Bitte. Sehe ich etwa wie ein Nazi aus?
Nö, würde ich jetzt nicht sagen.
Na, sehen Sie? Aber der ist wahrscheinlich für Sie auch ein Nazi, hm? Nazis, 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 lauter Nazis. Und schnell mal die alte Nazikeule raus.
Es hat doch nichts mit Nazikeule zu tun.
Sie machen sich das Leben sehr einfach. Die Mainstream...
Aber Nazi sein ist doch längst Mainstream.
Ja, ich vergaß. Nazis. Nazi-Methoden. Sie haben also das Browser-Ballett noch nicht abonniert.
Perfect video for the occasion. How dare you? How dare you call me a Nazi? Excuse me.
This is embarrassing, but just for the record and just so we have it,
The ADL to Elon, by the way, in their last second defense, that was awesome. That was amazing. Like, not even in my wildest imaginations did I think that the ADL would just like openly show their moral bankruptcy to this degree. You know what I mean?
you are not and have never been a member of the Nazi Party of the United States, have you? Come on, Tom, are you serious? Nope. Thank you. Sorry to have to even ask. And, oh yes, the Hitler dog thing. Okay, the dog thing's bullshit. Great, I thought so. Different spelling. Okay, different spelling? Yeah. Okay, and this other one that came up, just to fend this off. Have you ever read Mein Kampf? Yeah, a couple times, I guess. Couple times? Are there Easter eggs in there you didn't get the first time? Look, I'm interested in that period of history, Tom, okay? Skimmed it.
Just a couple times. I think this might be the issue. Everyone thinks it'll be like the movies. It will be much more subtle. Dude, what are you talking about? There's nothing subtle about a guy who constantly, talks about high IQ, populating the gene pool with high IQ individuals, about how immigrants are coming in to, destroy the gene population of the superior genes that the Western civilizations have. A guy who literally openly aligns with Nazis over and over again and defends them on numerous occasions, Sig Heiling on one of the most prominent stages on the platform, like on the planet. Like, it's not subtle at all. What are we talking about? What do you want him to do? Grow the mustache? That's it. That's the final stage, I guess. Like, it's not even subtle. That's the crazy part, you know? There's no subtlety to it. He just doesn't have he didn't put the uniform on, he didn't have the haircut, and he doesn't have the mustache. So I don't know. I'm not convinced. And at the end of the day, I think you inevitably have to arrive at this like crazy conclusion where you're just like, no one is really a Nazi. Only Adolf Hitler, and maybe even he wasn't a Nazi at all. And maybe Nazis were misunderstood. Like that is the final stage of this argumentation. You know what I mean? That's where we're at, where people just go, yeah, maybe they didn't have all the bad ideas. I think you're exaggerating. Okay, Ismail, fucking shut up. I haven't seen the clip, but I'm sure you lefties are blowing it out of proportion as usual. Why do prominent Hostwit users, power users, come in here to act like they're just naysayers? Like, this person is memeing. This person is behaving like they are genuinely curious and baiting, but they know what's up. Yeah. Haas Twitter power users get one super viral tweet and they start acting brand new in the chat. You see that? Thinking that they won't get banned for a second. Portrait of ADL CEO Jonathan Greenblatt for Jewish Currents. It seems that Adolf made an awkward gesture in a moment of enthusiasm, but he never said free Palestine. So let's all take a deep breath. Yeah. I think it's simply the general public's inability to comprehend important history repeating itself before their eyes, because history seems so far away and could never happen to them. I do find it very funny that people on Twitter versus in chat, why is XG defending Elon doing the Sig Heil? So I'll just say, I do find it somewhat funny, but also very scary that we are now officially on the stage where maybe a couple years ago you'd go, oh, well, this person didn't Sig Heil, so obviously they're not a Nazi too. Well, this person Sig Heiled, but obviously he's not a Nazi. Okay, we've moved on. We've moved on from the person who says Nazi shit all the time, who accidentally Sig Heils on the inauguration twice, okay, in front of the largest crowd he's ever been in front of the entire planet. We've moved into, yeah, he actually didn't mean it, and he's still not a Nazi. And it's funny because, like, liberals have this weird tendency to only abide by the aesthetics of a certain thing. Like, liberals, weirdly enough, only care about the optics. They don't actually understand when someone is saying Nazi shit. Like, they don't have a tendency to look at that and go, yeah, that's like, this is fascist. This is reactionary. This is racist. I'm not invested in this at all. I don't care what this person has to say. But even on the optics front, it seems that there are still people who have been hit right in the face with what is going on. Like, this is the equivalent of just having a swastika tattoo, okay? And they're still going, I'm not convinced. I don't know what will convince you if this does not, okay? This is the equivalent of saying, well, it's the swastika is, historically a Buddhist symbol of peace. Maybe he's a Buddhist. Maybe I was unfamiliar, but he is a Buddhist, I think.
I'm not an emotional thinker, okay? Like, so I can't appeal to people emotionally. But what I can say is that every part of my logical brain is telling me that this was not an intentional Nazi salute. This was not any nod at any sort of like Hitler Nazi stuff at all. And it was just Elon being stupid.
Yeah, he also is
I'm not one of these Holocaust deniers. I think the Holocaust probably happened. I think probably 99% certainty it happened. And the
controversial take. Oh, I gotta hold on. Oh, Jesus Christ. Like, for normal people, when someone says, oh, I think the Holocaust probably happened, people get freaked out. I don't know if Asmagol realizes that at all. Like, this is nutty, man. This is a dangerous game. This is a very, very, very dangerous game to play. You know, bro thinks he's a cleaning soap manufacturer that has to disclose 99% instead of 100% for legal claims. Yeah. I like that, the second era of the Burger Reich has started off with a bang, you know? Please tell me you covered this bullshit, the Lake and Riley Act? Yes, I did. Of course I covered it, and I will cover it further today. All right. Anyway, that's a crazy thing to say, man. That is just like insane. But yeah, you got the New York Times going, Elon Musk ignites online speculation over the meaning of hand gesture. Like, Elon Musk, Sig Heils is the actual thing that took place, okay? Did Elon Musk just hit the Roman salute at his inauguration speech, or something like your popular streamer asked on X? Dude, if you link me the Havara Agreement Wikipedia page one more time, I think I'll finally click on it, okay? Like, I finally will click on it one day, okay? Stop. Jesus Christ. Yes, I know. I know it exists. I've talked about it a lot, okay? You didn't say the Roman salute yesterday? No, I said the Roman salute as well, but it doesn't matter to me. The Roman salute is the Hitler salute. Like, what are we talking about? Do you think the salute was deliberate or just autism? I think Elon Musk absolutely is an ideologically committed racist fascist, okay? Whatever version of that he is, I do not care. You can call it a Nazi, you can call it a fascist. It does not matter. I 100% think that he is. And it would be very shocking to prove that he is not. It would be a very difficult task to prove that he is not, especially considering that he has done so many things. Yeah, my tweet says Roman salute, but it doesn't matter. It's the same shit. Like, I wasn't using Roman salute here to like defend Elon Musk. It's, to me, that makes no difference. Do you have factual posts or actions? I would like to see it. Smile. Factual posts or actions about this situation? I don't know how many more times I can describe this, man. Yeah, what is it? Is it the smartest man in the world, or did he not do it on purpose? No, I don't think Elon Musk is a particularly smart individual, okay? But I do think that he is very racist, okay? And I think he thought he could hit that and, basically have some semblance of plausible deniability, but he failed to do it in a way where there was any plausible deniability whatsoever. And now everyone that saw it are like, oh, dude, you're a fucking Nazi, But of course, all of the institutional defenders who are tasked with supposedly combating anti-Semitism have decided to defend Elon. Why? One must ask the question, why is the ADL defending Elon Musk? It's because he's pro-Israel. Okay? That's it. That's all it takes. Okay? You are on Fox News.
We had our top people, Wasserman.
What?
They all came in on the Olympics, and then I saw Johnny, and we got the World Cup too. And it's only the 26 and
What are you talking about?
And I said, I won't be there. I won't be your president.
You just bait me into watching Trump admits he rigged the inauguration. Is that what you're saying? But aren't Israeli Jews about sorry, I wasn't listening, just tuning in, being Nazi? Oh my God. Dude, you can be a anti-Semite and support Israel. Many anti-Semites support Israel, okay? Israel is also a fascist ethno-state. So there is a mutually shared love for doing that kind of racist ethnic cleansing campaign. But more importantly, the reason why a lot of anti-Semitic people love Israel is because in their minds, they think better that they go and live in the desert than here in my neighborhood. Okay? That's a major reason for a lot of anti-Semitic people to also love Israel. This doesn't mean that there aren't anti-Semitic people that don't love Israel. There certainly are. Okay? Plenty. A ton of Eastern Europeans work with the Nazis, even though the ideology explicitly dehumanized them. Yeah, I mean, there's that too. But also, okay? The other reason why plenty of anti-Semitic people love the other reason why plenty of anti-Semitic people love Israel is because Israel fights against their other enemies, okay? They fight against their other enemies, the Muslims. The way they see the situation is like, oh, let the Jews fight the Muslims, you know? We hate both. Let them fight. Great. That is the way that they approach the situation. Another reason why a lot of anti-Semitic people love Israel is because they believe that the rapture will happen if Jews take over the entire historical area that they have called Israel, far greater and far more expansive than the current confines of the Israeli state. There are many different reasons why people who are anti-Semitic still end up defending Israel. I know it's such an insane thing to believe, but it doesn't matter. People still believe it, okay? Yeah, also, AOC also daggered ADL, respect. Just to be clear, you are defending a Heil Hitler salute that was performed and repeated for emphasis and clarity. People can officially stop listening to you as any sort of reputable source of information now. You work for them. Thank you for making that crystal clear to all. Like, that's what's going on, baby. That's where we're at. Is it a coincidence that every verified account is lying and defending Elon? Anyway, all right. We're going to move. Oh, this was the last thing that I thought was really funny before we move on from the Elon shit, okay? Also, Trump's UN ambassador nominee Elise Stefanik was asked if she agrees with Smotrich and Ben-Gvir that Israel has a biblical right to the entirety of the West Bank, and she replied with yes. Ben Shapiro turned around and was like, you are officially one of the stupidest and most dishonest people in the country, to AOC. And to prove that Elon is not a fascist and not a Nazi, he showed this post where Elon had to play ball with the ADL, promote Israel, and also go to, I think this was in Auschwitz, to prove that he is to prove that he was truly sorry for saying, you have said the absolute truth, to a neo-Nazi who was talking about how Jews are doing the great replacement. And it's pretty funny because, Ben Shapiro has time and time again reiterated the position that he does not care about anti-Semitism. He simply cares about anti-Israel statements. Okay? Why did Elon visit Auschwitz? Yeah, why did he visit Auschwitz? Here's Ben retweeting a known Nazi. That's so funny. It's got to be a really funny moment where, one of the most prominent right-wing Jewish voices is openly retweeting one of the most prominent Nazi cartoonists. Awesome. Yeah, here is Elon Musk saying, you have said the actual truth, to this guy who is a Nazi, going, Jewish communities have been pushing the exact kind of dialectical hatred against whites that they claim to want people to stop using against them. I'm deeply disinterested in giving the tiniest shit now about Western Jewish populations coming to the disturbing realization that those hordes of minorities that support flooding their country don't exactly like them too much. You want the truth said to your face? There it is. Elon responded to that and said, you have said the actual truth. Yeah. Bestie Marks was really funny with his take. He said, Elon Musk is not a fascist. Here's proof of him standing next to me, a fascist. Yeah. Great stuff, man. Great stuff. Blau, deadass, I don't think it was intentional. I think he's just mad awkward with his body. I think, first of all, even if he didn't do this, okay? Even if he didn't do this, Blau, he has done far too many Nazi things for me to say that he's not a fucking Nazi. Far too many. Okay. Look at Twitter. Number one, look at Twitter. Number two, look at the prominent Nazi accounts that he follows and regularly highlights and retweets on Twitter. Look at the, bro, please, I'm trying to celebrate the 1% chance my family was just at summer camp. Okay. Elon Musk is also openly aligning with the AfD and other prominent neo-Nazi movements around the world. And also, he definitely hit the fucking full Hitler. Blau, are you fucking stupid? No, he's joking, chatter. What the fuck are you talking about? Blau is Jewish. I think the most like charitable interpretation of the situation is what Liv Agar said, which is that he wanted to do it in a way where there was like some kind of plausible deniability where he could do a subtle nod, but because he's too fucking cringe, he was incapable of contorting his body in a way, and he actually ended up doing the full salute rather than like one that would have given him a little bit of plausible deniability. I think Elon Musk just knows that he's also the most powerful person on the planet and completely untouchable. You know, that's it. JVP came with the receipts. Last year, Musk attacked the ADL for being a Jewish group. Now the ADL is defending him for a Nazi salute. And instead of addressing anti-Semitism, the ADL is excusing it. The ADL is telling us loud and clear, its priority is shielding the Israeli government from accountability at any cost. I mean, that's 100% true. Yeah, he should have just kept doing the pure X move instead of this new shit that he's trying out. Guess who Ben Shapiro retweeted after the Nazi comic dude? Fatlo. I'd like everyone who thinks Elon Musk gave a Nazi salute to give a fraction of that energy to this. And also, Fatlo is posting Drew Pavlo. Wow, all of my goats. Ben Shapiro, Fartlo, Drew Pavlo, and Stone Toss. All united, dude. All united. Just the worst possible political minds that have gotten together. Cool. Cool. Nightmare blunt rotation. Very cool. Oh, God. I do in some, like, it is a weird situation because, like, oh God, they're doing the more like Hitler-like dogs too. They're trying to still continue defending Elon Musk. They're defending Elon Musk like their life fucking depends on it. Jesus Christ. I want to see what Fatlo tweeted. What the fuck did Fatlo tweet? God, Ben tweets so much. It's crazy. Oh, Fatlo tweeted some other thing. Drew Pavlov, breaking terrorist bombing attack on Jewish preschool in Sydney. Terrorist spray, fuck the Jews. I thought they just wanted the ceasefire. We need mass arrests and deportations for Islamist extremists. Wait, I don't understand. Why do you see this and immediately assume that this is, you know, the like Islamists who are pro Hamas or whatever did this? Also, hold on. I need to figure out if the perpetrators of this obviously anti-Semitic hate crime support Israel or not, first of all. Because if they support Israel, then, you know, maybe there's a defense of it. Yeah. Based Mike Lee. Elon Musk likes dogs. So did Hitler. Elon posed in front of the Eiffel Tower. Chaya Reichik says, Elon Musk posed in front of the Eiffel Tower. You know who else posed in front of the Eiffel Tower? Coincidence or dog whistle or something much more sinister. Like they're trying to make it seem like Sig Heiling is the same as drinking water, dude. And it's so funny because, once again, these people are simply united on one thing, and that is being pro-Israel. Some of these people are deeply anti-Semitic that are defending Elon Musk. Some of the people that are defending Elon Musk are Orthodox Jews, like Chaya Reichik, or even Ben Shapiro, right? So it's exceptionally alarming that all of these people, though, that are united on their defense of Israel, okay, regardless of their background, regardless of their opinion on anti-Semitism, they have all one at any given moment yelled about like a Jewish pro-Palestinian protester being the most anti-Semitic person, while simultaneously claiming that Elon Musk, who is Sig Heiling, is actually not an anti-Semite and not a neo-Nazi because Hitler also posed in front of the Eiffel Tower or drank water or liked dogs. Very cool stuff. Yeah. Liking dogs is the same as Sig Heiling. Can you say the names of Nazi groups most supported? I would like to read on it. I mean, I agree with the salute is suspect. It's just a weird, it's just weird a guy that's businessman does that. It would mean extreme times for America. Chatter, instead of looking up groups that Elon Musk has supported, let me tell you about a man who was an American car manufacturer who actually redefined, or in some ways invented, modern car manufacturing. A man responsible for quite a bit, as a matter of fact. His name was Henry Ford. And I don't know if you know this or not, but Henry Ford also, not only was he, Henry Ford wasn't just a American innovator. He was also innovative in other ways. Innovative in ways where, you know, he invented new ways of being anti-Semitic through his 800-page pamphlets that he wrote about how all of society's problems were because of Jews. Okay? Henry Ford was so insanely anti-Semitic that he also got a Medal of Honor from Adolf Hitler. Yes, Henry Ford purchased a newspaper, the Ford International Weekly, and it was a weekly newspaper established in 1901 and published by Henry Ford from 1919 through 1927. At its height during the mid-1920s, it claimed a circulation of between 700,000 and 900,000. If true, this would only make it second to the New York Times in terms of national readership. Henry Ford wrote so many anti-Semitic things. This doesn't even have it in it. This doesn't actually feature the many different articles, but we've dove into it before. Okay? The International Jew. Here's his work. Okay? The International Jew was translated into German in 1922 and cited as an influence by Baldur von Schirach, one of the Nazi leaders, who stated, I read it and became anti-Semitic. In those days, dude, the Nazi leaders were like, damn, dog, this shit's fire. Henry, you are spitting fire here. I read it and I became anti-Semitic. In those days, this book made such a deep impression on my friends and myself because we saw in Henry Ford the representative of success, also the exponent of a progressive social policy. In the poverty-stricken and wretched Germany of the time, youth looked toward America, and apart from the great benefactor Herbert Hoover, it was Henry Ford who to us represented America. Praising American leadership in eugenics in his book Mein Kampf, Adolf Hitler considered Ford an inspiration and noted this admiration in his book, calling him a single great man. Hitler was also known to keep copies of the International Jew, as well as a large portrait of Ford in his Munich office. Adolf Hitler also gave Henry Ford the Medal of Honor. Okay? Explains businessmen supported here.
Fascism and German Nazism also had their admirers within the US business community and the corporate-owned press. Bankers, publishers, and industrialists such as Henry Ford traveled to Rome and Berlin to pay homage, receive medals, and strike profitable deals with the Italian and German governments. Many did their utmost to advance the Nazi war effort by sharing military industrial secrets or engaging in secret transactions with the Nazi government. The Rockefeller family's Chase National Bank laundered Nazi money, while corporations like DuPont, Ford, General Motors, and ITT owned factories in enemy countries that produced fuel, tanks, and planes that wreaked havoc on Allied forces. Despite these acts of treason, many of these US corporations were later compensated for damages inflicted on their property during the war, such as ITT, which collected $27 million, or GM, which collected over $33 million. During bombing campaigns, Allied pilots were given instructions not to hit factories in Germany that were owned by US firms. The German city of Cologne, for example, was almost completely leveled by Allied bombing, but its Ford plant remained unscathed to the point that German civilians even began using it as an air raid shelter.
Cool. Very interesting. That's too ridiculous. Come on. No fucking way that's real. Bro, it's so funny that people will just... It's so funny that people will just like look at historical events that took place and go, I didn't hear about it, and it sounds so insane, so it's probably not real. Yeah, it was the Grand Cross of the German Eagle, by the way, the highest medal foreign diplomats could receive from Nazi Germany. Yep. Yeah. I'll tell you another fun little thing. Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola was very popular in Germany during Nazi times. But once there was boycotts implemented against Nazi Germany, Coca-Cola didn't want to stop producing that sweet, delicious nectar in Nazi Germany. So they invented a different concoction. The name of that concoction was Fanta. That's right. Fanta was invented by Coca-Cola to continue selling products in Nazi Germany. How is this bad? Ford just providing people with air raid shelters? See, without Ford, innocent people wouldn't have air raid shelters. What's the problem here? Do you hate innocent people? True. Yeah. We know about Coke and Ford as common knowledge. Even normies know about this. Please help us combat and learn about contemporary Nazis. Well, first of all, the chat reaction shows that not every single person does indeed know about this. Okay? That's number one. And number two, this does actually translate to the international collaborative effort of capitalists with fascist movements at a time when capitalism is actually so destabilized that it's seemingly falling apart, and fascism actually presents a semblance of law and order without disrupting the capitalist hierarchy. That's it. Capitalism and the way that it is designed, due to the inherent contradictions that are firmly planted within it, the dichotomy and the process in which commodities are produced under capitalism, creates destabilization, okay? It is slated to fail. It is destined to fail no matter what. You can try to extend it with lifelines such as the welfare state or whatever, but it doesn't matter. Ultimately, there's still going to be boom-bust cycles, and there's still going to be no more profits to maintain, especially when you factor in that there is an exponential growth of technological advances that simply make profits impossible. Profit rates have a tendency to decline no matter what. Okay? At the end of that process, there is going to be far too much destabilization, far too much anger, far too much resentment. That's where fascists come into play. In the sea of resentment towards the structures that bind us, people start, maybe feeling a little too angry and resentful and mad about the CEOs and the corporate oligarchs. Okay? Maybe they start liking people like Luigi Mangione a little too much, right? That's where fascism comes in and says, hey, there's a lot of destabilization happening right now. I am going to whip the population into shape. They do this by finding a common enemy, oftentimes a marginalized group of people that they actively dehumanize and can present as the villain that is responsible for all of the horrible things that are happening to people. Okay? That takes many different forms. In Nazi Germany, obviously, it was the Jews, disabled people, gay people, morally degenerate people that are also, mind melted by the Jews, who are doing this moral degeneracy because they want to destroy the beautiful German civilization, right? Socialists, trade unionists, communists alike. As long as you are not disruptive to the existing hierarchy where capital owners still try to eke out profits no matter what the cost, and the Romani people as well. Thank you, chatters. Okay? As long as you are not disruptive to the capitalist hierarchy, you can get away with a metric ton of violence. And many corporations will align with you because they like that stability that fascism offers. It is far scarier for business owners. It is far scarier for business owners that the current existing hierarchy of capitalism is disrupted. So they rely on fascists to come in and maintain a presence of law and order through violence. Okay? That's where we're at right now in America as well, for the record. Ben Shapiro condemned Kanye, which dismantles your argument. Lol, that's so funny that you think that dismantles my argument. You know how much Ben Shapiro defended Kanye West when he was saying anti-Semitic things initially because he was a conservative? It literally took him saying that he loves Adolf Hitler a million times over for Ben Shapiro to finally be like, yeah, he's actually going through a mental health episode and he must hate, I guess he does hate Jews. Like, what are you talking about? And also, I'm remembering that Kanye West literally shit on Benjamin Netanyahu too in the fucking stupidest way possible. So maybe that had something to do with Ben Shapiro finally coming out and getting mad at Kanye West. Here's Ben Shapiro saying, again and again, Jews awful, nonsensical. Ann Coulter is also super pro-Israel and always has been, so I won't lose sleep. Ben Shapiro does not care about anti-Semitism as long as someone is pro-Israel. That's it. Anyway, yeah. Ben Shapiro also hates Nicholas Fuentes too. Ben Shapiro also personally hired Candace Owens knowing full well that she was anti-Semitic. Okay? Ben Shapiro hired Candace Owens knowing full well that Candace Owens was anti-Semitic. It was only after Candace Owens was anti-Israel did Ben Shapiro fire Candace Owens. Candace Owens is anti-Semitic. She also happens to be anti-Israel. Being anti-Israel was a bridge too far for Candace Owens. That's it. All right. Now let's get to the executive orders that Donald Trump signed day one. And there's a lot of them, and I covered them yesterday as it was happening in real time. But we should cover them again. This is going around on Twitter.
Oh, no, dog. No, this is the Charlie Chaplin mustache. You know Charlie Chaplin, right?
Yeah, I know Charlie Chaplin.
You know I'm a fan of silent film comedy, right?
Yeah.
Well, come on, man. Hitler ain't the only person that gets to have this mustache.
Yeah, I guess Michael Jordan had one too for a little bit.
Exactly, right? And guess what? I'm not going to let some monster from the 20th century dictate fashion for all of eternity. You know what I'm talking about? Other people get to have this mustache if they want to.
All right, yeah, it just caught me off guard.
Okay. Oh, man, you crazy. You got to take it easy, man. This is my abode, brother. When did you get a German Shepherd? What, Adolf here? See, what? No. Not Adolf Hitler, okay? Adolf Marx, Harpo. I love the Marx Brothers. Why are you busting my chops? You know this. What? You know what? You need to relax and take it easy, okay? Everything is cool, man. Let's crack these open, all right? I'll show you the kitchen. Kitchen's amazing, man. The best part about this house is I got this thing for like $20,000.
Oh, no!
What?
No?
What? The swastika?
Yeah, the swastika.
This is a vintage comedy prop from the movie The Producers, okay? You saw The Producers, the musical inside the musical, Mel Brooks?
Yeah.
And they did a remake. We had Nathan Lane and Matthew Broderick in it.
Look,
Nathan
hey,
Lane was in the cut.
That's
Nathan Lane
a
was in the
symbol
cut.
of hate, man. You can't just hang that on your wall.
It's a comedy prop, man. It's just like a rubber chicken.
It's not like a rubber chicken.
Anyway, yeah, good stuff. Good stuff overall. Things are getting worse at an alarming rate. I think it's crazy that like the New York Times, ADL, Washington Post, and numerous other mainstream organizations are also doing that same thing that we just watched, like the comedy bit that we watched. Okay. That's a little alarming, I think. And it's existed in perpetuity since, post World War II for sure. It's kind of wild. Hasn't really stopped. Anyway, let's take a look at Trump's executive orders now.
Some of them more symbolic, like the effort to rename the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America on official U.S. maps. One of the many changes he's trying to make as the executive without the approval of Congress. Nancy Cordes has been keeping track of all of it out of Washington. Nancy, it was a lot. Good morning.
It really was a lot, Tony. Good morning to you. Among the many executive actions Trump took yesterday, he pulled the U.S. out of the Paris Climate Accords again, froze hiring at the Internal Revenue Service, and he took a step toward denying birthright citizenship, even though it is authorized in the Constitution. Now, some of these moves are bound to face legal challenges, but he said he thinks he will win.
That's a big one. A lot of big ones, huh?
President Trump began signing a blitz of executive actions barely an hour after taking office, with aides providing stacks of orders.
Could you imagine Biden doing this? I don't think so.
In event after event.
This is a big deal. Merit.
He halted a ban on TikTok.
What's next, dude? Are you guys going to tell me that Donald Trump also has Hitlerian politics? I mean, come on now. Hitler did the Holocaust. It was what, like 12, 15 million total, right? Donald Trump wants to do that to 20 million. Very different number. Okay, so obviously not the same. Do you understand? Yeah. It's not the same. Donald Trump wants to do it to a different population, undocumented migrants, and maybe even documented migrants as well. Okay, If it's not the exact same number, it's not Hitler. That's how it works. Also, if it's the exact same Sig Heil salute, it's still not Hitler.
The U.S. should be entitled to get half of TikTok.
Wait, deporting equals the Holocaust? What the fuck, Hassan? Wow. Do we have a German AFD supporter in the chat? Because that's really interesting. Or maybe you are just unfamiliar with the history of how the Holocaust was implemented. It did not happen overnight where someone was like, oh, let's hit the kill button. It actually also started with a mass deportation policy. Okay? It was called the Madagascar Plan. That was the initial plan. Okay? Who knows if that was intentional or not? It does not start with, let's execute all of these people after putting them in concentration camps. Okay? It gets to that point. Nice. We got Holocaust deniers in the chat. Very cool. Get fucking wrecked, you stupid bitch.
Cartels as terrorist organizations and held an impromptu press conference in the Oval Office. It all capped a frenzied first few hours on the job. The president taking the oath of office.
I, Donald John Trump.
And saying the country's golden age starts now.
America's decline is over.
He added that he now knows why he survived an assassination attempt 6 months ago.
I was saved by God to make America great again.
Then he laid out how he plans to do just that.
I will declare a national emergency at our southern border. It will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
Forced into the Capitol by biting cold, Washington officials in many ways had a warmer welcome for the 47th president this time around. But after an inaugural address focused on the future,
2020, by the way, that election was totally rigged.
Trump returned to some familiar themes as he spoke to supporters right afterwards.
Liz Cheney is a disaster. She's a crying lunatic.
You and my Bill Maher dad got the exact same take on deporting undocumented migrants. If your dad is a Bill Maher stan, though, so if all those people are deported without getting killed, what are you to say? Wait, first of all, deportation is inherently a violent process. What are we talking about? You think that it's justifiable to deport 20 million people living on U.S. soil? Like, the fuck? No, I still think population transfer of this sort is still inherently fascist and completely unacceptable. Okay? But if you think that, like, you know, you're just going to simply urge, no man, justifiable, no man, it's degrees of different violence. Dude, what a ridiculous, what a crock of shit this is. Okay? I need you to understand something. Okay? Deportation of that sort, logistically, is one, it's inherently violent, and logistically will lead to ethnic cleansing no matter what. Okay? And look no further than the many different instances where in American history this exact same thing has happened. What are you talking about? Dozens of my family members were systematically slaughtered. If they just got deported, I would have had hundreds of relatives that I don't have now. Dude, I'm sorry. You can't chatter. I genuinely despise people who come in here and consistently go, no, it's his own special thing, okay? Shut the fuck up. The entire field of Holocaust studies and genocide studies in particular actually is against you, okay? People did not study the Holocaust so they could always say, no, that's its own unique thing, okay? And clearly you haven't even studied the Holocaust that well either. What the fuck is this, dude? People unironically do the never again argument, but then turn around and go, never again just means like, not to me, okay? Nobody else. Like, what are you doing? You're spitting on your fucking ancestors with this kind of attitude. Shut the fuck up. If you are right about the violence, I will come back and admit it. I don't give a fuck about your admissions, you dumb fuck. What do you mean? Oh, I guess I'll say my bad when like the millions of people that are put in concentration camps start getting fucking slaughtered in the process. Then I'll say my bad. Oh, thanks, chatter. You're proving my point. There is no reason to learn about the Holocaust or any genocides whatsoever if you're not going to have any takeaways from that And you're always going to go, it's only bad after the fact. Why is there even a charter against genocide to begin with? Why does the ICJ look at the intentionality rather than the pure number of people that have been cleaned from an area, ethnically cleansed from an area? This doesn't make any sense. Do you think people study the Holocaust specifically to be like, look how bad that was, and then nothing else? No more takeaways. Is that what you think? That's why the Holocaust studies field exists? Or do you think that there is some additional takeaways from that to make sure that this doesn't happen again? We must study how it got to that point so that we can stop it, okay, before it gets to that point again. Because if you say, all right, my bad after the fact, well, too late, don't you think? It's a little too late at that point. People look at the final solution and don't think about what other solutions there were before the final solution. You know what I mean? It's so strange.
In another part of the Capitol complex.
I think this was a better speech than the one I made upstairs.
Earlier, Trump and First Lady Melania returned to the White House for a transition tradition.
What's the angle behind designating cartels as terrorist organizations? Designating anyone or anything, no matter how violent or evil they might be, as a terrorist organization is specifically done to deny habeas corpus and to violate the normal due process that would exist in that situation. And because they're a terror cell now, you can sign off on special operations, invade Mexico, basically, with your military force to target these terror cells. It's a way to violate the already fairly limited pre-existing constitutional protections against that sort of thing. Internally, inside of the United States of America, you can utilize the military to say, we're combating against terrorism. These are cartel operatives within U.S. soil. They don't actually have to be cartel operatives, but you can now use that as a justification. You can also violate Mexico's sovereignty by saying, well, you can't deal with your cartels, so we're going to have to deal with it, and then conduct both raids internally and also conduct military operations on foreign soil.
With the outgoing president, one Trump had denied the Bidens 4 years ago.
Did you like my speech?
But only hours later, the new president insulted his predecessor.
In one of the worst administrations in history, maybe not one of them, the worst.
Later, in the Oval Office, Trump was asked whether Biden left him a letter with advice, another presidential tradition.
He may have. Wait, don't they leave it in the desk? I don't know. Oh.
Designating anyone as a terrorist is only done to justify killing them. Exactly. This is the same reason why Israel says they're fighting Hamas. Okay? Because if they were to say openly, and sometimes they do actually leak it, but if they were to say openly that like every Palestinian Arab is violent no matter what age and we must kill all of them, which they literally do still say sometimes, only in Hebrew, but whatever. Okay, people would look at that and go, well, okay, that's a little crazy. That's a little racist, don't you think? What the hell? It seems like you're doing racist ethnic cleansing here. Okay? But there's at least some semblance of plausible deniability if you say we're fighting terrorism. We're fighting terror.
It could have been years before we found this. Oh, thank you.
Trump's news conference is expected in 30 minutes, and obviously I will go over there and watch what he has to say when it starts.
Maybe we should all read it together.
Let's read it.
We did not read it together, so we're still waiting to hear what it said. Late last night, Trump...
As a university history professor in the U.S., I feel like all of my life's work has been for nothing. Now I know how you feel shouting the same thing at brain dead chatters every day. Yeah.
Posted that he is firing more than 1,000 political appointees from across the government. There were reports of officials being told to resign at the State Department, at TSA, at the Coast Guard, and elsewhere. Now, it's not unusual for appointees to be let go when a new administration comes in, but normally they wait until the new officials are ready to take over. Nate.
All right, Nancy, thank you. We're already starting to see the effects of President Trump's actions on immigration, including on people trying to come to this country legally. Omar Villafranca has more from along the southern border in El Paso, Texas.
As Commander-in-Chief, I have no higher responsibility than to defend our country from
Trump gives ICE power to arrest people at schools and churches while using common sense. Trump admin says that ICE can arrest people in and near places such as churches and schools, directing the agency to use common sense. Is a departure from the long-standing policy to avoid so-called sensitive areas. Dude, I'm telling you, Gestapo, okay? Gestapo. ICE is straight up doing SS shit, okay? And they're gonna do it. Trump said they're gonna do it, and they're gonna do it. And this time, unlike last time, there isn't even a limited amount of like, there isn't any semblance of judicial process here that can maybe even hold it up in the court system. You have a completely captive supermajority Supreme Court of the United States that will make everything that Trump wants to do constitutional. Okay? It's just, it's terrifying. I don't see the American people are waking up. I don't know. 20% of my students are undocumented. We have an emergency staff meeting tonight about how to best protect them. Yeah, hopefully, documented, American-born, naturalized, like U.S. citizens will have to be a line of defense. Trump has issued an executive order that revises Muslim ban, but is also much worse. Here's a thread of the key aspects of the new ban. This is from legal scholar from the Quincy Institute, Mariam Jamshidi. The admin has clearly learned from its earlier efforts to ban nationals from Muslim-majority countries by issuing a facially neutral order that appears to create a non-arbitrary process for its various action items. This is procedural process washing of what is still a discriminatory ban. New ban has many troubling provisions the old version of the ban didn't have, like this provision. Identifying how many nationals from those countries have entered or have been admitted in the United States on or since January 20th, 2021, and any other information the secretaries and attorney general deem relevant to the actions or activities of such nationals since their admission or entry into the United States. Whenever information is identified that will support the exclusion or removal of any alien described in subsection 2B, the Secretary of Homeland Security shall take immediate steps to exclude or remove that alien unless she determines that doing so would inhibit a significant pending investigation or prosecution of the alien for a serious criminal offense or be contrary to the national security interests of the United States. Together, those provisions suggest that foreign nationals from countries subject to the new ban that was admitted to the U.S. in the last 4 years could be subject to deportation. Is this a blanket automatic deportation order? Or is it more particularized? That is very similar to a law under President Coolidge that Hitler literally praised America for. Or is it more particularized? Hard to provide answers since this provision is written in deliberately vague language either way. Either way, it places countless foreign nationals present in the U.S. in a precarious position, including the over 40,000 Iranians holding non-visitor visas. One of my smart immigration colleagues has pointed out that the authority for this ban creates some hurdles to treating this as a blanket deportation clause. There's also this provision. Recommended any actions necessary to protect the American people from the actions of foreign nationals who have undermined or seek to undermine the fundamental constitutional rights of the American people, including but not limited to our citizens' right to freedom of speech and free exercise of religion protected by the First Amendment, who preach or call for sectarian violence, the overthrow or replacement of the culture on which our constitutional republic stands, or who provide aid, advocacy, or support for foreign terrorists. That part of the Muslim ban is specifically for college students. College students, many of which who are foreigners, on international visas from many different countries will be targeted under Project Esther, which is Project 2025's specific anti-Palestine division, where they will look at college students that have said free Palestine and try to deport them. This was also pre-written and pre-designed by the very same group that brought you Project 2025, the Heritage Foundation. Ironically enough, this, or who provide aid, advocacy, or support for foreign terrorists, kind of goes against the exercise of religion protected by the First Amendment, who preach or call for sectarian violence. Yeah. So no matter where you are from, if you say free Palestine, for example, and you're on a student visa, the government will try to come after you and deport you. I suspect that this process will require the federal government to set up Department of Homeland like snitch lines and hotlines specifically that can easily be undermined with a couple people that know how to code, I suspect. So if you're wondering how you resist against this sort of thing, I suspect that a lot of this resistance will be decentralized. And hopefully with a lot of plausible deniability. I would never urge people to do such things if such a hotline was to exist. a snitch line was to exist. Of course, I would never. Evaluate the adequacy of programs designed to ensure the proper assimilation of lawful immigrants into the United States and recommend any additional measures to be taken that promote a unified American identity and attachment to the Constitution, laws, and founding principles of the United States. They have assimilation. There's also a provision on refugees, as there was in the previous Muslim ban. Don't know off the top of my head whether this is any worse than the bans or the current processes for vetting asylum seekers. I believe the stateless language is new, though I could be wrong. Ensure that sufficient safeguards are in place to prevent any refugee or stateless individual from being admitted to the United States without undergoing stringent identification verification beyond that required of any other alien seeking admission or entry into the United States. The stateless language is, of course, for Palestinians. Obviously, that's the reason why that exists. They can say there's no legal state designation that the American government recognizes for Palestine. And therefore, Palestinians will be under additional scrutiny in this process. The last thing, which others have also mentioned, 2C could also be the basis for new NCEERs, like the Registry for Foreign Nationals already present in the U.S. NCEERs was a program started shortly after 9/11, requires males of a certain age from almost only Muslim majority countries to register. Good. W for Trump. F the Palestinian. Yeah. When you're wondering why, you can't have health care, just remember that, or when you're devastated by the immediate impacts of climate change, when your house burns down and you're like, oh man, why was there no preventative measures here? Remember that the money is being spent well. Oh, you're from the EU? Oh, dude. Awesome. You're from the EU. Okay. Yeah. Trump definitely won't be awful for you. Clearly. The EU famously also is not impacted by climate change. The EU famously exists not on this planet, but on fucking Mars. Yeah. I don't really care. What country are you from? In the European Union. Chatter? Yeah. Famously stable European Union. I like that he is abiding by the standards, the norm that I've also mentioned time and time again, that like our brain rot inevitably goes over there. And this guy's been completely captive. France. Oh, nice, dude. Yeah. Wait for the nationalists to take over your government. Imagine fucking shitting on America from France, dude. Look at Macron, dumbass. Imaginably cooked. Talking about F the Palestinian, good W for Trump, F the Palestinian. Your country's cooked too in the same exact ways that ours is, and you're over here being like, well, good job for Donald Trump. Least Islamophobic francophone. Yeah. His username is a Nazi album. I don't care. I don't fucking whatever. French hogs are so funny because they think they're above like the unintellectual, unenlightened American hogs, but then they literally LARP as American hogs. He said they're trying to hold on to the colonial age by pretending they exert influence on Lebanon. Yeah, remember when Israel violated any sort of remember when Israel violated French sovereignty like a couple months ago? And Macron had to say, please, oui, I would like some more, please. Yes, oui, very nice. Hong. Please arrest more of the French policemen. You have the right to do it. Yes. Hong, I'm Israel, hi.
Threats and invasions, and that is exactly what I am going to do.
A series of executive orders signed by President Trump Monday designed to crack down on immigration had an immediate impact as the new administration shuttered an app used by asylum seekers to book appointments with immigration officials.
Dude.
And
okay, you're still a fucking idiot. What do you mean?
Canceled.
Dude, what is this like? I was just pretending to be mentally deficient memes happening in the chat. He's like, yeah, dude, 52,000 people in here think I'm a dumbass racist. And guess what, dude? I am. But I was a dumbass racist from a different country. Imagine thinking I'm a dumbass racist from France. Okay, you got us, dude.
Like, all outstanding bookings, including the one for Margalise Tinoco from Colombia, who waited months for this day. I don't know what my life will be from here, she said. About 30,000 migrants were waiting to enter through the app. Sources tell CBS News Trump is also planning to ramp up operations to arrest unauthorized immigrants across major U.S. cities this week as he pledges to oversee the largest deportation effort in U.S. history. Chicago is now bracing for raids to detain and deport.
The new president tells us very clear, everybody is the enemy. All the immigrants is the enemy.
Yesenia Ramirez has lived and worked in the U.S. while undocumented for 20 years. She spoke about the fear spreading in her community.
You don't see it, but you feel it. You have the panic attacks. You can sleep.
Less than 24 hours into his second term, Trump also signed orders to keep asylum seekers in Mexico while awaiting immigration hearings, labeled drug cartels as terrorist organizations, and promised to send troops to the southern border. Last month, Border Patrol encountered around 96,000 foreign nationals at the southern border, down from more than 300,000 in 2023.
The Texas National Guard is already stationed here on the Texas-Mexico border and has been since 2021. Now, President Trump also signed an order going after birthright citizenship for children born in the U.S. to unauthorized immigrants, but that is already facing legal challenges from immigrants' rights advocates.
That's just against the Constitution, by the way. Like, straight up. Not even a joke, not even a meme. That is just completely unconstitutional. The real joke, of course, is claiming something is unconstitutional and expecting the Supreme Court to abide by that standard. None of that matters. We already know that the Supreme Court is completely captive to the whims of the current administration, and they will do their bidding, you know?
Gail?
Omar, thank you very much. Tom Homan, thank you so much for joining me. I want to ask with something that you said last night, that your deportation operation starts today. Did it?
Yeah, ISIS, they're out there enforcing law out today. And of course, as I've said numerous times, they're concentrating on public safety threats. That'll be our priority right out of the gate. So ICE officers are back to doing their job.
Where are these, are they actual raids? And how is it different from what we saw yesterday or the day before?
Well, look, I wouldn't call them raids. They're target enforcement operations. They know exactly who they're looking for. They know pretty much where they'll find them. So, again, these are well-planned operations. They're well investigated, so they got a lot of backup information when they go out there. A whole team goes out for officer safety concerns. So this happens throughout the nation. I mean, I'm not going to tell you specific locations out of officer safety concerns, but ICE is back doing their job effective today. They haven't been able to do it for 4 years.
Well, I'm going to follow up on that in 1 second, but who is ICE going after right now? I know that you and others said several times that it is the people who pose the biggest public safety threat to Americans who would be approached and deported first. Is that still the case?
Yes, people in the country illegally that have a criminal conviction that makes them a public safety threat. That's our priority.
How are you finding them?
Again, these ICE officers across the country have a non-detained docket. They know who these people are. When they don't show up in court, they fail to leave as ordered by an immigration judge, or they have, NCIC information on someone who was arrested for a violent crime here that's in the country illegally. They take those leads, they do investigative work, and through that work, try to find out where these people may be located. And that's the whole investigative piece they do before they go out and actually make.
Yeah, famously, the federal law enforcement authorities up until this very moment, and the local law enforcement authorities up until this very moment, refused to prosecute criminals when they were when they were undocumented. Like that's not what he's talking about. If you think that the violent crimes the undocumented migrants are committing are not being prosecuted and investigated, you are out of your fucking mind. Okay. No, he's using that thing that already is happening, okay, in an effort to basically do dragnet operations and grab as many undocumented people as possible, because they understand that even at this stage, if they were to say everyone, that would, make people go, that's a little crazy. So they have to make it seem like they're doing something justifiable.
Can arrest.
And so what is happening as we speak is limited to those with criminal records?
That's the target of this operation. But like I said many times, in places like sanctuary cities where we can't arrest the
Good. Deport undocumented immigrants that have committed crimes. How is that controversial? Oh my God. How many times do I have to repeat this? It's called marketing, okay? Even the dumbest hog in power understands this. But for some reason, people who just retain this information, normal citizens like this chatter here, simply cannot comprehend that Tom Homan is lying in this situation. Okay? The notion that there are millions of undocumented migrants that have committed heinous, violent crimes on U.S. soil and have not been prosecuted and have not been subsequently deported or are in perma jail now as a consequence of that is fucking insane. Okay? The reason why he's making it seem as though that is what they're going after is because it's much more marketable for him to say that instead of saying the truth, which is we are going to do dragnet operations in your neighborhoods. We're going to bust down doors and we're going to grab the abuela that works at the grocery store that you wave hi to every day. Okay? That doesn't eliminate the point being valid. I'm not validating all his points. I just think deporting criminals is a valid POV. Otherwise, arguing it is an invalid point if it's not what's actually going to happen and not what is. It's an invalid point because he's lying. How do you not understand this? The reason why it is an invalid point is because he makes it seem as though the current federal government does not prosecute criminals who are undocumented. If you believe that, you're a fucking moron. Okay? That's it. Of course, he's not going to say, we're just going to do dragnets and deport, forcibly put the otherwise law-abiding abuelas down the street from you into permanent jail, okay? Into a concentration camp. He's not going to say that because people are going to be like, that's a bridge too far for me. He has to justify it. And the way to justify it is by claiming that these guys have done heinous, violent crimes, okay? And he has to further justify that by claiming that the previous administration did not prosecute undocumented immigrants who committed heinous, violent crimes. That's it. If you take everything he says at face value, you, as a dullard, will sit here and go, oh, well, this makes sense. I understand his other points might be invalid and not in good faith, but as Dems on the left, if our messaging is a counterattack, first of all, I don't care about the Democratic Party's messaging on this issue, and I don't care about what you think is the best possible way to go about it in terms of the optics, because you clearly are too stupid to understand what's already happening here anyway, okay? Dems on the left, our messaging is a counterattack on the premise that a majority of Americans agree. Okay, a majority of Americans agree that Jesus Christ is going to come back to earth in our lifetime. What do we do about it? Should we legislate accordingly? The fuck do you mean, dude? What a stupid position. If a majority of Americans believe that the only law of the land is the Christian law and we have to actually learn about Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, in schools, are you going to say, well, a majority of Americans agree with it, so I guess that has to be the case? Politics is the art of the possible. Dude, I can't stand liberals, man. I cannot stand liberals. Like, they literally substitute being bad at politics with like some kind of adult way of interpreting the situation, okay? Politics is the art of the possible, which is why we have to constantly cave and capitulate to the Republican framing on issues, no matter how fucking insane it is, no matter how made up it is, because if we don't counter message against it, people start believing the Republican messaging on the issue, and then there are enough people that believe it, well, then it must be true, I guess. If our messaging is a counterattack, a premise that the majority of Americans agree and believe in, we're going to continue to sink further in immigration polling, which, whether we agree or not, was a huge impact during the election alongside the economy. I'm going to die. The reason why a huge majority of Americans believe this falsehood is because the Democrats never communicated that it was a falsehood at all. They just showed their bellies. And worse, they actually solidified that this was a real issue. It was born out of real data by actively making their own exact same right-wing reactionary white nativist immigration, anti-immigration bills. Brilliant stuff, okay? Big words don't make you sound smart when your point is bad, lol. I don't think I used any big words. I don't know if you're talking to the other chatter. What are the big words that I'm using here? Republicans have a starting position that is born out of a lie, okay? That's it. It's born out of a lie. The idea that undocumented migrants that come, and documented migrants too, by the way. This is not just undocumented migrants. So I got to stop saying that. Non-citizens, and that's the Customs and Border Patrol, Department of Homeland Security state, designation for this. Non-citizens are responsible for an unimaginable metric ton of fucking crimes, okay? That's a lie. It is the exact opposite, as a matter of fact. They are responsible for less crime per capita than natural-born U.S. citizens, okay? The reason why Republicans advance this position is for a multitude of different reasons, but many of which is just simply that they're fucking racist, okay? If the liberals, and the craziest part about this, by the way, isn't that like this was something that was unforeseeable. In the month of February, in the year 2021, okay? You got to lay off calling people fucking morons when they approach you with counter arguments. If the counter argument is moronic, I'm going to say that it's a moronic counter argument. I'm sorry. If your counter argument is, well, a lot of people believe this dumb shit, and I haven't really examined whether or not there is any veracity to it, and I just think that when a decent number of people believe in a complete falsehood, then we just have to act like that complete falsehood is the truth, then you're a fucking moron, you know? I'm sorry that it hurts your fucking feelings, dude. What are you talking about? I'm sorry, I'm a bot, and you have to treat me like a special little flower in the chat. My feelings will be hurt if you don't do that. This also goes back to the American entitlement, okay? The American entitlement, American exceptionism, and American individualism, and the American entitlement that, like, I came up with this idea, and it's a brilliant idea, so you have to take it seriously. Me. You are an entitled American, dude. Racist. People from all countries come to Mexico to gain access to the USA, skirting the law, says MJ Plays. You are an entitled American, dude. I am. Okay, I am an entitled American. Exactly. So you have to listen to me now, okay? Instead of other, at least I'm an entitled American who understands what the fuck is going on, rather than an entitled American who's a dumbass, who's going around being like, me. Hassan, please see the truth. People from all countries come to Mexico to gain access to the USA, skirting the law, okay? First and foremost, the law is restrictive, okay? Specifically designed to make sure that people come in illegally, or in many instances legally come in, but they want to fucking deport those people as well, for the record, and they are working to deport those people as well, or take away their immigration status. That's number one. Number two, the normal process of coming into the United States of America, especially from a Latin American country, especially from a South American country, is unimaginably long and virtually impossible, especially if you don't have a lot of money, okay? So that is precisely the reason why people do this thing where they seek asylum, which is legal, okay? Seeking asylum is a legal process. And many of those people who are going through the legal process of seeking asylum in the United States of America that actually had their CBP-1 applications that were supposed to be today, when they were supposed to have their interviews yesterday, got the application shut down. So you're actually shutting down legal migration as well, okay? I empathize with real asylum seekers, but we are allowing criminals in without due diligence. You don't know what you are talking about. If you think that the CBP-1 application does not actually have any sort of background checks, you're just wrong. And not only are you wrong, but you are fantasizing about a reality that you came up with that no, plenty of real criminals are actually skirting the system. Okay? I'm sorry. I can't entertain the silliness in the chat if that's your take. Who do we contact to confirm the background check? The dictators? Yes, they call up Maduro personally. The dictators. Do you think that that's what you're implying? No, I'm not implying that because I'm not a fucking moron. Do you think that the Customs and Border Patrol is actually woke and the Department of Homeland Security is actually woke and they're wokely saying, even if someone is of a criminal background, even if someone has a criminal background, let's not investigate that. Let's just let them all in. Is that what you think is going on? Also, if that's the case, you probably assume, and it's not false, that a shit ton of undocumented migrants came into the United States in the last 4 years of the Biden administration. So why did they not amount to an unimaginable, why did they not cause an unimaginable sea of extra crimes that took place in the process? Or do you think they did, and the quote unquote woke law enforcement officials in every state, in every locality, actually secretly were all tasked with hiding this truth and simply did not arrest them? Or when they did arrest them and they realized that they were undocumented migrants, they let them go? Because in terms of the murder rate, for example, it's gone down in the process of unlimited migration into the United States of America. Perhaps it's because undocumented migrants, at least if you look at the data, are responsible for significantly lower percentages of crime per capita than natural-born U.S. citizens. Hassan, I don't want you to be killed by a migrant. Please stop. What? Dude, you are just fucking brain dead if you think that any random migrant person that you see is a murderer, okay? I don't know if you're trolling or if you're just a racist fucking moron. What the fuck? I live in Los Angeles, okay? The fuck do you mean? I don't want you to get killed by a shut up. Oh, I'm trolling a little bit. Oh. Country is 330 million people. 29 murders by undocumented migrants last year. 29. Yeah, we're really going to put a dent. We're really going to put a dent in that fucking murder rate by doing mass deportation and concentration camps for 20 million people.
Bad person in the jail. We would like to have access to the jail to arrest a criminal alien in the safety and security of a county jail, which is safer for the community, safer for the officers, safer for the...
It's crazy seeing certain sex workers become MAGA over the past couple of years. Jesus fucking Christ. Dude, what are you talking about? It's clout. People don't give a shit. They just want to... One, everyone is susceptible to the same kind of brain rot. Okay? That's number one. And number two, people are very clout obsessed and want to make money and think this is a better way to generate attention. And then people will come and jerk off to their photos that way. I know this, you know, I've seen it. I've seen it happen.
Damn, this guy's good.